Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into something huge, the artificial intelligence that is completely reshaping medicine. It promises these incredible, life-saving miracles, but it's also hiding a multi-billion-dollar blind spot. And that's something that could affect every single one of us. So let's get right into it. So let's talk about AI's multi-billion-dollar problem. You see, behind every single promise of a medical breakthrough, there is this hidden cost. A massive financial and operational risk that the industry is really only just now starting to wake up to. And this all boils down to one central question, right? We're told AI is going to revolutionize everything in medicine, from discovering brand new drugs to tailoring treatments just for you. But is it actually safe? In this massive race to innovate, have we maybe forgotten to build in a safety net? Let's try to put a number on this blind spot. How about $40 billion? Yeah. That's the estimated cost every single year when these super advanced AI systems go off the rails, all because of a simple lack of oversight. It's a huge and honestly preventable loss. Okay, now let's zoom in from that $40 billion to just a single failure, $150 million. That's the potential price tag for one single lawsuit. If an AI model makes a mistake, an unforeseen error that ends up hurting a patient, that is a massive legal and financial bomb waiting to go off. And believe it or not, it gets even bigger. A single security breach, where an AI system isn't locked down properly, that could cost a company up to $500 million. We're talking stolen intellectual property, lost data. The financial risks here are just staggering. So you have to ask yourself, why is this happening? I mean, if the risks are that high, what on earth is the root cause of this AI governance crisis? Well, the simple answer is that a lot of the industry today is operating like the Wild West. You've got these brilliant AI models being built and just thrown out there, team by team, project by project, without any of the standardized safety checks or the continuous monitoring you'd absolutely expect for something that could affect your health. And this chart right here really shows you the scale of that gap. A staggering 90% of these really advanced systems, we're talking things like graph neural networks, which are amazing AIs that map complex biological data, they're operating totally blind with no audit trails. That means we often have no idea how they made a decision. They're just black boxes, which from a safety perspective is terrifying. And this isn't just one little thing. It's a total systemic breakdown. Get this, 85% lack standard infrastructure. Up to 80% have no automated way of checking if they're getting worth over time, and 3/4 of them can't even explain their own decisions in a way that regulators can accept. It's a crisis across the board. But okay, it's not all doom and gloom. This crisis actually points us directly to the solution. To move forward, we have to build an AI safety net, and the answer lies in a framework that we call AI governance. So what is AI governance exactly? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like the essential rule of law, but for artificial intelligence. It's a whole framework of rules and practices and tools that make sure these incredibly powerful systems are built and used safely, responsibly, and, crucially, in full compliance with all the regulations. And we can actually break this big idea down into 4 pretty simple pillars. First, you manage all your AI models in one central library. Second, you monitor their performance 24/7, like a watchtower that never sleeps. Third, you secure any collaboration in a kind of digital vault. And fourth, you explain how it all works with an automated translator that regulators can actually understand. Now, here's the part that I find really interesting. This isn't just about playing defense and trying to avoid fines. This is where the story completely shifts. Because implementing proper governance, that's what actually unlocks the true value of AI. It turns a high-risk gamble into a high-reward strategy. So here's the key insight, the big takeaway. Governance isn't some kind of red tape designed to slow everybody down. Not at all. It's the framework that turns the absolute chaos of the Wild West into a factory for controlled, repeatable, and get this, ultimately faster innovation. And this slide just illustrates that perfectly. Look at the difference. Without governance, getting a new AI model out the door is slow, it's risky, it's a mess. But with a proper governance framework in place, companies can deploy new models 60 to 80% faster. It's wild. You can actually speed up by adding guardrails. And it's the exact same story with what is often the biggest bottleneck of all, the regulators.
Without governance, trying to get approval from an agency like the FDA is a total shot in the dark, and it's almost always delayed. With it, you see a 60 to 80% improvement in the success rate of getting that crucial approval on the very first try. And check out this powerful quote from the source material. It says that with constant monitoring, you have an 85 to 95% chance of catching when a model's performance starts to slip before it can cause any real-world harm or any bad business decisions. It's all about being proactive, not reactive. So let's zoom out for a second. What does all this mean for the big picture? We're not just talking about a new piece of software here. No, we're talking about the next fundamental layer of essential infrastructure for the entire industry. See, AI governance isn't some optional add-on. It is becoming as fundamental as electricity or the internet. In the very near future, you simply won't be able to build the next generation of AI-powered medicine without having this foundational layer in place first, period. And because it's so foundational, the market opportunity is just immense. We're looking at these huge interconnected markets for governance, for what's called MLOps, which is basically the operations side of AI, and for security. Together, they're worth tens of billions of dollars, and they are growing incredibly fast. So why is this all happening right now? Well, it's basically a perfect storm. You have three massive forces all converging at once. The EU's new AI Act is making governance mandatory. The FDA is demanding much stricter monitoring, and almost every single pharmaceutical company will be using AI in production within the next year. The pressure to adopt this is coming from every direction. What this all means is that AI governance is making a very rapid shift. It's no longer just a nice-to-have for the extra cautious companies. It is quickly becoming the non-negotiable, mandatory seatbelt for anyone and everyone deploying medical AI. So when you put it all together, this becomes a really fascinating space to watch. It's mission critical because of regulation. It's a high growth field with huge potential returns. And once a company adopts a governance platform, it is incredibly difficult for them to switch, which creates this powerful competitive advantage or moat. The timing really could not be better. And all of this leaves us with one final and I think crucial question. As artificial intelligence becomes woven into the very fabric of our healthcare, making decisions about our health, our diagnoses, and our treatments, the most important question we have to ask is this: who do we trust to write the safety code?